The 10 list. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the 10 list, where we go through a list of 10 things and we keep it as simple as that. Today we're looking at 10 facts about the Nintendo Entertainment System. The Nintendo Entertainment System, NES for short. So number 10, the total number of NES games. There are 715 licensed games for the NES, 678 of them were released in North America, and among these games there's a huge list of unlicensed, canceled, and unreleased games as well. Number 9, the Famicom Release Date. It was first released on July 15th, 1983 in Japan, and it was known as the Famicom, and it was short for Family Computer. The Famicom looked very different than the NES. Well, you would put games in this system from the top, and it had a red and white look to it, and the controllers were red and had a gold look to them. There were 3 games released with the Famicom, and they were Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., and Popeye. Number 8, the NES Release Date. The NES was first test marketed in North America in New York City on October 18th, 1985, and unlike its Japanese counterpart, the NES was made to look like it would fit in with the rest of a 1980s entertainment center, with the NES being a front loader, making it look like a VCR. Now, since the NES was successful in its test markets, it saw a nationwide release date in September of 1986. Number 7, the first day games. Along with the release of the NES in North America nationwide, 17 games also released alongside it. This lineup included 10 Yard Fight, Baseball, Clue Clue Land, Duck Hunt, Excite Bike, Golf, Gyromite, Hogan's Alley, Ice Climber, Kung Fu, Pinball, Soccer, Stack Up, Tennis, Wild Gunman, Wrecking Crew, and Super Mario Bros. Number 6, Rob. Robotic Operating Buddy, or ROB for short, was an accessory for the NES to make it look like a sophisticated toy than just a video game console. Rob would play along with you when you would plug him into a controller port, and Rob was part of a plan in 1985 to gain excitement in the US for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Even though Rob had 2 games and had a very short lifespan, he was just what Nintendo needed and was basically a Trojan horse to get consumers to take the NES into their houses. Number 5, the packing games and accessories. The NES over the span had all kinds of bundle sets and games that would come with it and everything. A few of these sets included the deluxe set, which started out at $179.99, and it included the console, ROB, a light gun called the NES Zapper, 2 controllers, and 2 games, which were Gyromite and Duck Hunt. There was a basic set that was released in 1987 for $89.99, which only had the console, 1 controller, and no game. Which that sounds like it sucked. And there was also the action set, which I remember the most and what I had growing up. It was released in November of 1988 for $149.99, and it included the console, 2 game controllers, the NES Zapper, and a 2-in-1 game pack with Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. Number 4, the most expensive NES game ever. The game that has the number 1 spot for the most money spent on an NES game was a launch version of Super Mario Bros. This version of the game is basically the same version of any other Super Mario Bros. Game. Now, the most notable difference about this as opposed to any other Super Mario game was that this test launch version, it had a black circle sticker with the word Nintendo printed in silver still on it, sealing the game box closed, and it sold for $140,000. Number 3, the Famicom Disk Drive. The Japanese version of the NES exclusively had an accessory that was called the Famicom Disk Drive. It was released on February 21st, 1986, and it was made to enhance the sound and give games the opportunity to have save files, which helped for games like Legend of Zelda and Metroid. Famicom Disk Drive in the end had about 200 games, and the final game made for it was a rock, paper, scissors type game called Janken Disc Joe in December 1992. Number 2, the NES Hands-Free Controller. Nintendo wanted to make it to where everybody, even people with disabilities and couldn't use their hands, could play their games. So they made the hands-free controller. Now how somebody could use this was they would wear it like a vest, and there was a straw and you could either blow in it or suck on it for the A and the B button. And then there was also a stick by your chin that you could move up, left, or whatever direction you wanted to do it. It wasn't sold in stores and only offered exclusively through Nintendo's consumer service number. And now the NES hands-free controller is a highly sought-after collector's item. Number 1. Final Goodbye. On August 14th, 1995, the NES was discontinued in both North America and Europe. And the reason why the Famicom had such a longer life was due to its technical support and disk writing service for the disk drive. The service lasted into the 2000s by mail, but it finally saw its end in September of 2003 when Nintendo discontinued its service. That is your 10 list of NES facts. Keep it right here on IIWR for more facts and 10 lists and all that good stuff. Thanks for listening, guys, and I will see you next time.